Let's talk about rowing foot height and how you should adjust your feet and why you should be putting your feet as low as possible when you row. So just using the starting example here, this is me with my feet strapped in with the foot plates all the way up. Essentially my feet going onto the rower as high as possible. And I just want you to see here how this creates a very rounded spined posture here as I try to lean and reach forward. The reason why this happens is because the knees are raised up higher. Your whole legs, everything gets shifted up higher when you put your feet higher in the rower. So the higher your feet are, the more your back is going to round. Now you'll notice that if we adjust the foot plates down a little bit more, now this is more towards kind of the middle of the shoe. This is where you'll usually see most instructors tell you to put your feet. The thing is, it's better than what we had up here, because again, we're not getting our knees totally crammed up and getting the super rounded posture, but you can still see here that we're getting some rounding in the lower back still, and it's a little bit more uncomfortable still to get that lean forward that we want to get when we row. But you can see that the knees are considerably lower than they were when we strapped in as high as possible. But that is why when we strap in as low as possible, you can see here the strap going across essentially right below my big toe. Again, there's no holes showing on this Concept 2 foot plate. My feet are as low as possible. Look how much lower it brings the legs and the knees. You can actually see my knees below my arms compared to these other positions here where the knees are crammed up. When your knees can get lower, look at your back position here. Look at that. You can get an actual neutral spine position and get a proper lean forward at the same time. And when it comes to rowing and rowing well, lower back injuries are like the number one issue that plague people who row a lot. And those little minor strains, if you've ever dealt with one of those when you're rowing, it sucks. It puts you out for weeks. And we can totally minimize that risk from happening by just strapping in our feet as low as comfortably possible. Now, obviously, we don't want to have it so low that your shoes are going to fall off or that you feel super uncomfortable. If you're super low and it's uncomfortable, okay, go up by just a notch and find where it's comfortable. But that's the idea, is as low as comfortably possible. This is super important, especially when we consider those that have a larger midsection. And let's face it, a lot of people get rowing machines because they're trying to lose weight, especially trying to cut down the midsection weight. So I've stuffed a pillow under a shirt here to kind of demonstrate this, but we can see this really exaggerated in people that have larger midsections. As your legs compress when you come up to the rowing stroke, if your knees and legs are really high up, because you've put the strap across the middle of your shoe, or you didn't even think about how you strapped your feet in, look at this posture here, this red line. Does this look strong and athletic? No, it doesn't get you a good lean forward enough to even get a good hip swing after the leg drive, but also the lumbar spine here, the lower back is just in a really not favorable rounded position, which is just going to increase your risk of injury compared to if you strap your feet in as low as comfortably possible. Here, even with this kind of pillow as an example for a larger midsection, we can get a complete neutral spine and a good lean forward just from making that simple foot plate adjustment. So I would encourage you to drop what you've heard about, the strap on the middle of your shoe or whatever. As low as comfortably possible is always going to be favorable when it comes to reducing injury risk. And here's the thing too. Some people say, well, won't your heels lift more when you row if you strap your feet in low? Yes, they will. And that's because it's going to put more of a stress on your ankle mobility, the flexibility in your Achilles tendon. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not, because when you row, regardless of if your heels lift or not, you push from midfoot into heel. And if you watch any professional rower row, you will see that they all lift their heels when they are on the rowing machine and doing their training. Lifting your heels is not a bad thing, especially when it comes to performing for 2,000 meters, 5,000 meters, any sort of endurance effort. The only time we really want to keep our heels down is if we're doing a quick sprint, or if you've got such a big midsection that bending your legs so much that your heels lift prevents you from getting any sort of lean forward at all. And I've addressed this in another video as well. But I just hope that can clear the air and clear the confusion. Strap your feet in as low as comfortably possible if you want to be successful and minimize your risk of injury when you're rowing, no matter what type of rowing machine that you're using. That's it for this video. You guys, I offer a lot of rowing resources on my website, and don't forget to check out my app. Check out my app, Just Row. It is the most affordable follow-along workout app that's out there. I've got that all linked down in the description down below. And if you have questions on this, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to answer those for you. But I hope this can clear the air. Happy rowing to you. And as always, I will see you in the next video.